All right, team, let's go ahead and get started.
Good afternoon, members of the board. Dr. Shanoff, thank you for meeting with us this afternoon. A very short agenda today. We wanted to review high school AAA, and some changes to the site plan, and then update you on some Osceola County road projects and some agreements that will be coming to the next board meeting. On slide number 2, what you're looking at is the updated site plan for high school AAA. And obviously, since I put together this presentation, we were able to refine that site plan a lot more and continue on with our design. That's why you have the single page. It's more in line with what it looks like right now. So having started the design really early on this project, it gave us some time to, I think it's really working out in our favor now, because as we did the geotechnical engineering, borings and site assessments, we realized that the site is really low, like extremely low, and has a significant amount of 100-year floodplain on it. One of the challenges that we have with the 100-year floodplain is that we have to maintain all of the water on our site, and as well as we have to mitigate the wetlands on it. So the darker green area that you're seeing on your site plan is the 100-year floodplain that we have to maintain, and we have to maintain connectivity because it connects to the wetlands in the next property. So that forced us to rethink our site plan that we originally presented to you. It is the same prototype schools. What we did was we put the parts together differently, so we have a more condensed school. It is going to have the same program capacity. It is going to maintain all of our athletic programs that we originally intended to do. The only difference here is that our timeline for the South Florida Water Management Permit is probably going to be about a year from when we submit it. Now, again, we started the design really early, so it still gives us enough time to complete this project and open it on time. The parking stacking is obviously different, and it comes off of what a road that doesn't exist, which is intended to be called Bluebird Parkway and is shown on the county's plans. We're still talking with the county about who builds the first part of the road from Nova Road to our entrance. And so that's a conversation that's been ongoing with them and continues. We continue to have it. There isn't a definite plan yet, but at this point, we cannot put our entrance off directly onto Nova Road. We have to come off of a side street, so that's what's driving that design that way. There is a small impact. So there is a local road that runs through this facility, and we, as you're seeing on your site plan, it's being reshaped in order to accommodate all of the 100-year floodplain that the high school is going to require. And that means that the transportation east facility is going to shift slightly. We are going to have to delete our driving range. It's just a piece of tarmac that we would train bus drivers on. But our current facility at Simpson Road and the Transportation West facility will have those facilities to be done, so we can do our training there as well. Overall, those are the only changes that we have. The construction timeline we're presenting to you, which is on slide number 5, shows that our design is going to be completed in February of 2024, and we're looking to start construction in October of 2024. A lot of that is just because we're waiting for we're anticipating that we'll be waiting for our South Florida Water Management Permit to be issued. But what it does is it really gives us a long enough time to order all of our materials, our long lead items, and therefore, when we get into construction, it's just go really hard and open the school on time. We've shared the schedule and the expectations with both our design and our construction partners. They've all bought in on this, and so we're pushing ahead as fast as we can. The current site plan does show the space for a future pool, which is an agreement that we are still working through with the city of St. Cloud to see if they're interested in partnering with that to get it done.
Now, is there entry from the south side?
Yes, sir. That's a very good question. So there is an entry that is in line with the second curb cut from the bus facility, and that small portion is going to have to be a bridge because the water has to flow under it in order to maintain connectivity. That's the only elevated portion.
And we're not going to encourage like parents or anybody to drive on that. It's just for like bus.
Yes, sir. It is just for our bus and our staff parking, correct? And it will be gated.
Okay, so that's the bus one is here, right? And the parent loop.
That is
on
correct.
this side.
Yes, sir.
don't know how much of a parent we have in a high school, but.
Well, we usually stack through all the drive aisles, so there is a significant amount that we still can bring into the facility itself.
Right, and then the last question is, if this is the buses, then are they requiring a light here or a light up there?
So there is
I know we have to have a light for our buses. to turn
Correct.
left.
So there is a light included in the transportation facility at the entrance of that local road that is being built, and that's where our buses will come in on. Osceola County is still trying to determine whether the second entrance at Bluebird Parkway and Nova Road requires a light, but that's a part of their development as they go through with the widening of Nova Road. It's
Right.
not something that we require at this point.
But we wouldn't be on the hook for having to pay a portion of that either. You know, like,
We could potentially be on the hook for a portion of it.
So that will become the signal light that will bring Center Lake all the way through from Narcoossee to Nova Road. So any and all developers and individuals who benefit from that light, the county will probably ask for everybody to contribute, but right now, we did not trigger that light. But once the high school comes online and we have more of a traffic pattern and we understand the number of parents, then we could be asked to contribute a small portion.
okay, it's like a percentage of
Yes.
apportionment between.
There is
all
an
the
agreement
people
that states, stipulates how that works.
They don't look at who has the biggest pockets and say, oh, it's the school district, let them pay.
It's all done by the percentage of impact brought to the light.
It's a similar agreement we have for the light that goes on Ponciana for the Knightsbridge.
One of these fields doesn't look like it's regulation. Is that my imagination?
Yeah.
Versus this change here?
It did. It did. They did change the bottom of it to include a lot more, and the retention pond was reshaped to give you 2 practice fields. A big driver in why the site plan laid out that way as well is our football field is not east-west to avoid that, so that's the best angle that we could get with the amount of fill that we would have to bring in. And then that leads me to slide number 6, where we have to update you on some road projects that we're working on with Osceola County.
Good afternoon. It's just a quick update. As we all know, Osceola County's been working for some time on several road improvement projects, and several of those projects will run adjacent to our school properties. So in the September 19th school board packet, you will see an agreement for Boggy Creek Road, Neptune Road, Poinciana Boulevard, and Simpson Road. And the county has been working with staff on acquiring some parcels and the right-of-ways along the front of our schools. And just to make you aware that those contracts will be in the board packet for approval. Most of them are temporary construction easements. Probably the biggest change was at Simpson Road, where we did the realignment of the entrance, and they made the pond in the back a little bigger. And then in return, we're going to reroute the traffic the way it flows for the buses. And RV and them will now have a light at Simpson Road and New Beginnings Road that'll allow the buses to get in and out on Simpson more freely. And the county contributed those changes as well. So it's just a heads up, there's going to be
Are there
probably a
any
good
permanent-
100 pages in the
Any
next board
permanent
packet.
easements?
There's a few permanent easements, yes.
Now, did they pay us for the permanents?
They did. That's what's coming before you. Any land that was acquired, the value of the temporary construction easements along with the value of the permanent construction easements.
Did you do any eminent domain at all?
No. No, they did not.
At least not with us, but I know they did have some challenges, some homeowners in their frontage, but I'm sure they were able to work deals out.
And nothing that significantly impacts our traffic flow or anything like that. So whatever they're taking, we don't have to like redesign our schools or add more stacking because of.
Other than the change at Neptune.
So Neptune Middle School, we've been working with them for a long time about the Neptune Road widening. Currently, our parent traffic backs up over the bridge, on the bridge over the turnpike.
Yes.
So one of the asks was they're going to put a traffic signal where the new fire station is intended to go. Our bus loop is actually going to go off of the back of the school, which is Ames Haven Road. So what our intention is to use our current bus loop and parent loop and combine them and bring a lot more cars onto our property and do some improvements, but we will be building a bus loop in the back of the school.
Yeah, because actually I go to Neptune. I mean, my son goes to Neptune, I do that, so I have an experiencer of that experience. And one thing that I always thought was a little different, and I guess it's already designed, it's one of those schools you can't reconfigure it, always hit the light, and I want to turn left at the light. I don't turn left at the light, and it's only reserved for the buses in there. So I have to literally pass it and have to like force my way to get inside. So it's not the best, you know.
Right.
I wish I had a light, and that way all the parents can come out. Because that's the other thing, because I can get into school, I can force my way in, but trying to get out
It's a
is
different-
an issue altogether as well.
Right, and our buses, we prefer for them to have a traffic signal to turn left into oncoming traffic, so this is going to allow us to do that, so it'll be a lot safer for our buses as they get in and out. And again, minimal improvements to the front of the loops, but we're intending to combine the two loops so we can use the entire thing. Our entrance closest to the turnpike will go away, so that way we have people coming further away to the second entrance where the buses currently go in and start looping. Correct. Yes.
Now, is that in a capital improvement plan already?
It is correct, yes. That bus loop was always in there, so it's currently in design, and our expectation is that we will start construction probably before the end of this year, get that built and ready, but we won't be able to use it until the traffic signal where the buses come through and Osceola County is done with their portion of the improvements.
Right.
We won't be able to shift our buses to the back. So we'll be done and waiting on that, pretty much.
Thank you.
That's all we have.
All right, I like it. Is that part of strategic plan accomplishment for 15 minutes, or that's a measurable
Your
metric?
evaluation.
So,
You know, because my son goes to Neptune.